Thanks for joining us, everybody, for a session I've been looking forward to for a very, very long time, as it turns out. I'm very, very excited to have my special guest, Naturopath Linda Hoggard, with me today. For those who've never heard of Linda before, Linda is my immediate introducer into the Cerule business, and she has graciously agreed to give us some of her very valuable time today to tell us all sorts of things and stuff. So I would suggest you have your notepads ready, or you can record the session so that you know everything that's said later, and we will get full value, I am sure. So before we get cracking, Linda, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Bart. Hi, everyone.
It's very, very nice to have you here. We thought we'd start today with me relating my story once again, just briefly. So, because there are a bunch of new people here to the channel that will not have heard the story, that will not know what's been going on here. A lot of you probably haven't even heard of Cerule. What on earth is Cerule? What are we talking about? Don't worry, we'll get to it. It's very, very exciting stuff. In the meantime, I came across the Cerule business some 12 and a half years ago, maybe, something like that, at a guess. And it was at a time, serendipitously, that just previous to that, I had been to an optometrist for a standard test of my eyesight to get a new prescription for new lenses, that kind of thing that you do every year or two. And the optometrist looked into my eyes and went, ooh. And I was like, well, that's not disturbing at all. Perhaps you'd like to share with me what's going on. And the optometrist said, well, I'm not really liking what I'm seeing here in terms of what's going on at the back of your eyes. I'm going to refer you to an eye specialist who can make a definitive diagnosis and etc. So I duly waited out the time that it takes to get in to see such professional eye specialist. And I went and saw the specialist, and they went, yep, absolutely, that's what's going on here. You have what's called wet macular degeneration, they said. And I was like, never heard of it. And they said, well, it usually strikes people in their 7th and 8th decades of life, those that are going to experience this. Invariably, those people go blind. I've never seen a case as advanced as yours in a man your age. I was 39 at the time. And the eye specialist said to me, here's the story. You will go blind. It will be by the time you're about 45 years of age. There's nothing we can do about it. We can potentially slow it down maybe by injecting stem cells directly into your eyes. I said, no, thank you. Don't smoke, he said. Don't drink. Keep blue light out of your eyes. And make sure you avoid all of that nasty saturated fat and meat products, and make sure you have a balanced diet, he said, tee-hee. $200. Get ready for being blind at some point, probably by the time you're 45. So that was both terrifying and entirely unsatisfying, that in this day and age that there was nothing that could be done for me, and I was going to be blind by the time I was 45. Just for those that don't know, I'm now 51, just about, and I'm not blind, by the way. In fact, my vision is better than it was when I was 45. My prescription for my lenses is less. My distance vision has improved. The holes in the middle of my vision that were developing because of the condition have regressed entirely. And the last time I went for my prescription glasses check, which was late last year, I went to a new optometrist, and I sat down and I said nothing. And I said, check my eyes if you wouldn't mind, as you duly do. She did. She said this, that, and the other thing. They did the glaucoma testing as they do with the puffs of air, puff, puff. She looked into my eyes. She asked me, does this look better? Does that look better? Does this look better? Does that look better? As they do. We did all of that. She said, here's your prescription. Come back in a few weeks and we'll have your glasses ready for you. And I said, great. Just while we're here, though, anything you'd like to comment about the state of my eyes at all? Any issues with the eye health or anything like that? No, she said. I went, oh, really? Nothing at all? She said, no, they look pretty normal for a bloke in his late 30s, she said to me. And I said, well, you're very kind. Thank you very much. So no sign of disease at all, she said. I said. She said, no sign of disease. So either the best eye specialist in New Zealand was wrong 12 years ago, or something's happened in the meantime that we can't really explain using modern allopathic medicinal practice. And I'd like to think it was the latter. I'd like to think something's happened that they don't understand, but we do. It's at that point that I can throw across to Linda so she can introduce what is Cerule, what are the Cerule products, what do we need to know?
For sure. A great story, and a story I have seen repeated a number of times to my delight, because I guess I became a naturopath pretty interested in how to get my body really well, and also, how to learn about how the body actually works and to get it really well. And as such, I've had quite a keen interest in biochemical nutrition and just being a really effective therapist. So when I initially found the first of the products, this first stem cell enhancer 15 years ago, I was pretty keen to give it a try. And we're now on our fourth version in a company called Cerule that's been going for just about six years. So essentially we're talking about a company called Cerule that has a outstanding natural product called Stem Enhance Ultra. It's derived 50% of the product from a concentrate from an algae that's got its own independent research showing that when you take 2 capsules of this product, that you get at least a 25% increase in your own stem cell migration. So do you want to talk a little bit about stem cells and the potential effect on your eyes?
Absolutely, yes. While we have to be very careful, while there are very strict rules to which we must adhere, and that's perfectly understandable, the FDA has decreed that we cannot make any therapeutic claims of any kind, and as such, I won't be doing that. But the idea is this. In your bone marrow, there is a population of stem cells which are called CD34+, if you want to know. We just call them adult stem cells. What they do is they hang out there in your bone marrow pretty much until they're needed, or until your body gives your bone marrow a signal to release those stem cells. And then what those stem cells do is they bop around in your blood for a bit until they find a tissue that's in need of renewal or replacement because it's damaged or dysfunctional in some way. It binds to those damaged cells, assists in the process of dissolving, breaking those damaged, useless cells down, and basically it differentiates into a brand spanking new one of whatever kind is needed. And these stem cells will turn into any cell in your body except sperm or eggs. So that includes eyeball cells if you've got a problem with your eye health. So that's the mechanism of what might have happened for me. If maybe you've had heart issues, they can replace damaged heart cells. If you've got scar tissue, it can start to replace that. Pretty much anything that's going on, except apparently getting you to grow hair on your head, Linda. That's not happening for me.
So I think that's one of those rate limiting things. If the
it's not a health issue.
Have already died, they can't release the signals.
Perhaps, yeah, and it's not really a health issue. It's not a priority. One of the reasons the FDA says we can't make therapeutic claims is because adult stem cells are directed by the body according to the evil machinations of that body, according to its priorities. So what we are doing is encouraging your bone marrow to release stem cells that it wouldn't otherwise have done, and then your body decides what happens with those stem cells. So that's basically that one in a nutshell.
Yep, that is Stem Enhance Ultra in a nutshell. The algae itself is it's very nutritious. It's got some natural mood-enhancing compounds and anti-inflammatoriness that people can feel sometimes quite quickly when they start taking the products. But then when people are looking at wanting to really boost their regeneration and repair, they need to remember they've probably been on the planet for a while. They maybe got a bit more going on than average. They're already experiencing degeneration. And that's where they can talk to you, Bart, and really understand what would be an appropriate amount for them to take for how long, to sort of help give their body those resources, and then to look at an ongoing maintenance dose, because this stuff is just fantastic from a healthy aging mechanism point of view.
Absolutely. So, I guess the first couple of questions for you, Linda, we kind of alluded to, but we can get a full detailed response from you, is pretty much what your personal experience has been with the product.
Yeah.
I've given mine. You could give us yours if you like.
When I found the product, I was in my early 30s. I was 33. I was a really overworked naturopath and structural kinesiologist, booked out 2 or 3 months ahead. Grew up farming, done a lot of really strong structural work with people. So I was kind of losing my hands and wrist strength and experiencing quite a lot of discomfort. I was taking, a few $100s a month of liquid cartilage, high-end practitioner products. My hands weren't getting any worse, but they weren't getting any better. And to my delight, within a few months of taking this product, I had a massive improvement in the discomfort in my hands. And then about a year later, I just had this big turnaround and developed kind of actually strength in my hands that I hadn't ever experienced before. That was one of the first things that I'd been really targeting with, taking practitioner level products, investing quite a lot in it, not really getting the results, and then being able to turn around and invest less and get outstanding results. I'd had surgery on my foot when I was 12. They'd said by 25 I'd need a joint replacement. I sort of got through that, with studying naturopathy and structural kinesiology, and my foot was starting to quite jam up on this kind of joint, this joint here in the foot. It was a congenital deformity. I'd had bone removed when I was 12. And in my experience, after taking the product for about 7 months, I woke up one morning and, man, did that joint hurt. I had to use a walking stick for a few days to get, from the house to the clinic. And I'd started seeing this in some of the people that I was giving the product to, that some of their old wounds were exacerbating and getting a little bit irritated before they were experiencing improvement. And that was my experience. And on the 4th day, I woke up and I wriggled my foot in bed and I could feel the joint, and it was looser than it had ever been. I am now heading to 49 at the end of this week, and I've not had a problem with that joint since. And the thought of joint replacement, etc., just doesn't even cross my mind. I feel like I took enough of the product to really target degeneration in that area, and that I continue to take enough of the product to maintain my body in a healthy state. So there are a couple of the poignant things on a daily basis. My brain just really loves the mood enhancement effect. I personally, can tell if I'm taking the product or not. Not everybody can. For a lot of people, as I say, they need to just sort of look back over time, often over a year or two at things. I remember doing a talk in Perth about 3 years into using the product with a functional medicine doctor there. We were a similar age, and she was commenting on a mountain biking accident, how she'd had, and how that discomfort had meant she couldn't sleep on that side of her body, and it had gone away. And it made me think, wow, when I was 19, I came a cropper off my mountain bike in Scotland and I chipped my hip. And that chip had always moved around. I'd never been able to sleep on the right side of my pelvis. And somewhere in it all, without me even noticing, I was like, wow, that's all gone. So, yeah, that's
awesome.
That's a good few descriptions of experiences. And I think it's important for people to realise too that you and I were in our 30s, but we already had degeneration catching up with us, let alone the older people that you and I are constantly assisting to mobilise resources to help with that.
Yes, yeah. Because, one of the things, apart from degeneration that occurs the longer you go around the sun on this crazy rock that we're on, is that also as we age, every time we go around the sun, our ability to release those stem cells drops and drops and drops, to the point where when you are my age, around 50, your natural ability to release your own adult stem cells is about 50% of what it was at your peak.
Yeah.
And by the time you're 70, you've got 30% left, sort of thing. What this Stem Enhance product, our flagship product, is basically doing is turning the clock back on your ability to release those stem cells.
Yes.
And so that's why it's such a powerful product. It increases the circulating stem cell resources in your body, which means the likelihood of any degeneration, dysfunction, anything that's wearing out slowly over time, being repaired, that likelihood goes up.
Yeah.
And that's the power of what we've got our hands on here, basically. So tell us about the other main products that we need to know about that are the things that really make up the stable of things that we are promoting that all people should look at.
So I think one of the other ones that we're consistently working with at the moment is this collagen active product. This product is outstanding. I had a very, very significant stressful event happen in my life last year, and I'd say Stem Enhance helped heaps. But when this product came out, I'd been taking, practitioner grade bovine collagen for a few years, just, as a matter of feeding my body nutritionally. And so when it came out, I was sort of thinking, well, I'll take it because I'm pretty impressed with the formulators at Cerule. And I could see just even at a glance that they had used marine collagen, which I was starting to read how that was 1.5 times more absorbable than the bovine collagen that I was taking, and that all the classic connective tissue support ingredients were in there, and some other really interesting ingredients that I've since read up about. So I talk about this collagen product being advanced connective tissue support with marine collagen and 14 extra ingredients. And to my astonishment, really, within a few days of taking the product, my hair that had gone unnaturally sort of straight with stress, the wave came back into it. My complexion that had lost this kind of consistently looking healthy complexion had got kind of quite blotchy with the stress hormones, and it kind of just brought me back to life. And then I'd had some of my friends saying to me, oh, I'm taking it every afternoon because it gives me a really good pick-me-up. And I'm like, collagen giving you a pick-me-up? We're just talking more about structural support for the connective tissue. But there is something about the synergism of all the ingredients in this product that just about, I think, everybody I'm talking to is going, wow, it makes me feel great. And they're generally experiencing that in a week. And I've taken a few different brands of collagen before and never had an experience of it really kicking me up. So I suspect, as I said before, it's that synergism of the products. And as of about 10 days ago, I started taking 2 sachets a day. And a few days ago, we're moving house at the moment, and we'd had a really you just had those really big days. And I came home and I thought, God, I'm going to look in the mirror and go, holy heck, you just look drawn and a wreck. And I was like, wow, like I just sort of look okay. And I started to notice that changes in the skin structure of my cheeks on 2 a day in the last 10 days has just really turned around. So I think that's pretty exciting, and it's a perfect synergy to work with the Stem Enhance. I don't like the term anti-aging. It doesn't sit well with my brain, but like what a way to manage your aging process using these 2 products. And the other product we were going to just mention today, because it's certainly a product that you've taken, Bart, to assist the circulation around your body, particularly the circulation of the stem cells to your eyes, and that's Plasma Flow, which is an outstanding formulation of enzymes, herbs, etc., to support the circulation. For anyone out there who just can't stand winter and cold feet, etc., this is a product that I find clinically turns those symptom pictures around. And
awesome.
Yep.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So basically, in a nutshell, 3 products that really everybody should consider very seriously getting themselves onto sooner than yesterday. The power in these products is absolutely unbelievable. It's not just myself and Linda. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of stories that we can tell you from people who have had life-changing things occur with regards to their health, coincident with starting to take this product over and taking it over a period of time. Amazing coincidences that these things are happening to these people all over the place. And so we warmly, strongly recommend these products, do Linda and I. And if you want to get hold of these products as a retail customer, you absolutely can do that using the link, which is currently wending its way across the bottom of the screen. All you do is punch that URL that's there into your browser and it will take you straight to the shop. Easy peasy. Nothing could be simpler. However, there's more we wanted to talk to you about today. So if you are the sort of person who has goals, dreams, desires in the world that are not yet fulfilled, if you are perhaps working a job that's taking up most of your week and you maybe would like to not be doing that so much but still have the same or better income, if there's something that gets you out of bed every morning by way of hope for the future, then you probably should stay tuned in for the second part of this discussion. Linda, you've been involved in this business longer than I have.
Yes.
I was a retail customer, for those that don't know, for I think 10 years. And I've been a distributor in my own right now for about 3 years. And basically, it's a near full-time income from the Cerule business alone, which is a passive income I get paid every month. And I say passive because usually I'm spending maybe 4 or 5 hours a week in my Cerule business just talking to people. Because once you've made the connection with folks, they understand the products and the power of them. They've taken them for about 6 months. They'll never come off them. They'll just keep taking them because of the benefits that seem to be coincidentally associated with that. And so it becomes a very passive thing. But while that's nice and excellent and something that any one of you could achieve in the next 12 to 18 months if you really set your minds to it, that's nothing compared to what the business has done for you, is it, Linda? Do you want to tell us a bit about what benefits have accrued to you business-wise by being a member of this organisation?
Yeah, so I guess originally, a bit like you, the business started producing the same amount of money that I could produce in my day job, and then I guess in myself, because I've had friends that I've trained with that were really surprised that I would have, left a lot of clinical practice. But for me, I just felt like the product needed someone to say, hey, my name's Linda. This is my training. It's 5 years extensive training in naturopathic medicine, in structural medicine, natural medicine. And I've run really busy clinics full time. They've been booked out 2 or 3 months ahead. I know what works and what doesn't work. And I know when your back's against the wall and when you need extra support. And I can tell you that for a lot of things that often it feels like there's nothing that's going to turn your body around, that you can mobilize these resources and start to see what the products do for yourself. So that really made me committed to the business. So essentially, Cerule is my full-time gig, although I don't need to work on it full-time anymore. I strategically kind of pick the people that I want to work with and where my time can be spent in order to help people in the most effective way, which is awesome. So that's also coincided with a really significant income. So in Cerule, if we talk in New Zealand dollars, they have a level where your business is moving 4,000 bottles worth of product a month, and the income that goes along with that is around $20,000 to $25,000 for overseeing that. And of course, when that's all added up, it's a business that's probably doing $4 to $6 million worth of product a year, but it comes down to sort of 4,000 bottles of Stem Enhance Ultra or a mix of Plasma Flow and Collagen Active. But that's the sort of income, that can be reached at that level and beyond, so they would say. So the exciting thing, for Bart and I is also that we get to build an international business. We both get to live here in New Zealand, but, through technology and connecting with people, we both have significant influence around the world, helping people with the products and the business. And I guess for anyone who's earning that level of income, it gives you a whole lot of choices. Before COVID, I chose to travel quite significantly with with my daughter and coincided with speaking at conferences around the world, and all those treasured memories. And I guess I'm starting to see that take off again as we move into this year. Yeah, and I think that's what I say to people. I can decide, what I do with that income. It's totally changed my life, and it's a huge buffer that it creates. And to be able to keep working on that through lockdown as well was awesome. Yes, that's some of the things that come to mind.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So just to absolutely clarify for people, that $25,000 or so that Linda is talking about is per month in her hand.
Yeah.
That's what she earns.
20 to 25,000 at that point where your business starts moving 4,000 units of product, and that's New Zealand dollars.
Yeah, and that's my next goal too. I want to be on the same beaches that Linda's on as many times a year as she's on them. As it is, I qualify for one trip a year where I get to go. This year, apparently, we're going to Hawaii. All expenses paid by the company, so that's going to be fantastic. We're going to enjoy that, I think.
Yes.
There's benefits in terms of money for the running of a vehicle, for example, as well. There's a car program there. The travel that Linda's alluded to, the ability to earn really quite significant 6-figure annual incomes with a few hours a week worth of working with a selected few. And I'm very pleased, Linda, to have won the lottery, to be worthy of your time. It really is very gratifying. I thank you very much for that. So with all of that being said, let's move on to, says whoever's watching this, I'm interested. I want to know what's involved here. What do I have to do starting today as someone with no business experience of any kind necessarily, no training in sales or any of that kind of thing, for sure, no necessarily huge belief in myself that I can really do something like this, but I'm interested in getting hold of some of those rewards, because I'll tell you what, I didn't believe it either. For 10 years, actually, until I decided to get started on it. And then I still didn't really believe it when I decided, I'll have a go at this thing. And 3 years later, it's, I could actually stop doing everything I'm doing and live full-time on my Cerule income if push came to shove.
Yeah, for sure.
And, okay, I don't want to do that, but I could.
Yes.
And that means that I sleep very, very well at night. And you can have that too. But to get to that, Linda, what do people do? What are the steps here?
I think they go to your link that you're going to supply, and they can register to become an independent business owner with Cerule. And you might know the term more as a distributor. So that's the first thing to start doing, and that gets you your own individualized website that you can share with people so that they can order on your website and have their orders linked to you personally, which of course then you get paid commission on. And I think one of the great things about connecting people in this way is that you can do work this month as that person stays on auto ship, like an automatic monthly order, and that continues on, that the commission, you can still keep earning on that in years to come from the work that you do in the next weeks and months. And I guess it's then just duplicating and compounding that. One thing that Cerule has that I think is a great thing to get started with is looking at how to get your product for free. So in Cerule, there is packs called wellness packs, and wellness packs are always on an automatic monthly order, and the company gives a significant discount for that intention. That automatic monthly order can be changed and cancelled at any time, as long as it's not the day that the order is going to ship. So nobody's locked into anything, but for that intention of a regular order, the product is discounted and it ships freight free. And that's a universal program around the world. Cerule is available in many, many, many countries. So as an IBO, if you have a wellness pack on AutoShip, and if you get 3 separate preferred customers, so a preferred customer is someone buying retail but always on an automatic order, they go from the term of retail to preferred, and 3 separate people shipping wellness packs each month, and then the following month your wellness pack will ship for free. Now, that when you add that up, what you're earning, receiving in free product really adds up over the year. Often, in New Zealand, we're looking up around $2,500–3,000 worth of product. And, so from a business point of view, you've got 9 bottles of product getting sold and you're receiving a few $1,000s worth of product. So that's a great start to your budget and cash flow. And then, of course, on that product, on the preferred customer product, you're also receiving commission on that and starting to build your commission income. So that's a great way to get started. In most countries around the world, when you become an IBO, you can order a success planner. And in the success planner, there are prompts for you to think about why this business appeals to you. And that's actually a really good thing to get your head around about what it is that you want to achieve goal-wise and why. Because, some weeks this business flies and some weeks it doesn't. And keeping your eye on where you're going really helps you keep consistent. And then it talks about classic things like writing a list of people. And I talk to people about informing. I did some training around how to build a clinic and a clinic base when I started my clinic, because I was really into what I sort of did. But how do you actually get people to come and see you? And the lady that I trained with was just like, you've got to inform people what you're doing, and they've got to hear a bit of excitement in your voice. So, one thing you can start doing is informing people about what it is that you have found. So there is on your Cerule website videos that you can share with people. So sometimes you can just be the messenger and say, look what I found, watch the video and come back to me. We have a number of systems, etc., to tap into to help with the sharing of the message.
Yep. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So, that really sums it up quite well, but I'll just kind of run through it again. It's often, helps to hear things a couple of ways from a couple of different people in a couple of different ways. In my organisation, I'm teaching the repetition, basically, of a really simple cookie cutter unit of business that any one of us can go and set up in the next day, if that's your major definite purpose, if that's your goal to do this, with a view to not getting wealthy off doing this once, but with a view to getting wealthy off setting up a number of these units over time.
Mm.
And the unit really is this simple. Number 1, register yourself as an IBO, an independent business owner or a distributor if you like. Number 2, order your own wellness pack on AutoShip. Number 3, find 3 people that you know, or indeed 3 people that you have not yet met. It makes no difference. Find 3 people in the world who you can convince that they need to order a wellness pack for themselves as well. And we can talk about how that's done one-on-one at another time. It's really very simple on how to speak about this product in a way that absolutely demands that person asks you for more information. It's easy. You just need to learn how, basically. And you find those 3 people, they go to your website, they purchase their own wellness pack, those 3 people. Yours is now free, as Linda said, from the following month onwards, as long as you continue to have 3 people with wellness packs. Personally introduced people. Cool. That is the unit of business. Then what you do is you find somebody who has some goals, dreams, desires, a bit of get up and go, who wants to also build their own financial business, if you like. And you say, well, what you do is you sign up as an IBO, you order your own wellness pack, and you find 3 people to get on a wellness pack. Mm. Now, the amount of income that you can earn from this business relies entirely on how many times you want to do that. That's it. Mm. There's nothing more complex here. At this point, we've dealt with the objection that people say, well, maybe I can't afford these products. Well, there you go, get them for free. Free is pretty cheap, I think you'll find. The next objection that people come up with if they're going to object is, oh yes, but MLM, it's a bit icky, it's a bit yucky. What do you say to those people, Linda?
I say if you've got, I say lots of things, probably depending on the person and how they kind of put it at the time, because sometimes people are just being parrots, and I've heard someone say that, and if they've got no sort of experience that's created that for themselves, and they might kind of have some ideas around the commission structure, and I just say to them, look, I prefer to call it really a direct sales business. And the company that is producing these products just decides to sell it through a team of IBO distributors like myself directly to the customer. And that's the direct sales. And of course, I get paid a commission on that. And then also I can build teams of people and support them and get paid an overriding commission on that. And that's often a way, rather than people just being caught in their associations of something they've heard, you can actually explain what the process is, which is quite a normal process in how sales works all around the world. And I think you would agree, Bart. Bart and I both know that one of the main owners of the company, he's a Kiwi guy personally. We've worked with him for years, and it's a company with a lot of integrity and desire to be a real leader in the network marketing forum with, pay plans that pay well and fairly and consistently and never drop anybody out. Often if people have had an experience in network marketing that has given them a negative association, normally it's to do with nobody ever helped me and supported me. So I'd say to anyone kind of watching this who'd like to connect with Bart and I that, but we're both very committed to this business. We have quite a number of tools and interviews already set up to help people. Sometimes, in those businesses, the way they paid people, once they got to a certain point, things might break away and then you've got to rebuild, etc. And there's absolutely none of that. You'll see that if you talk to Bart about the pay plan and have a look at the chart, it's just an example of going, if you do this, you'll be paid like this, and if you do a bit more, then you'll get a bit more, etc. And it's very easy to follow.
Yeah, and there's also a bonus payment program for people that decide to build an organisation of people with a certain degree of rapidity and haste, shall we say. And I went through that program a couple of years ago, to the point where, from memory, I think the top one of those bonus payments was like just a one-off payment of $7,000.
Yeah, you would have, and some really great bonuses in those times.
Yeah. And also when you're talking about the integrity and goodwill of the company, there was a competition that happened at the beginning of last year, wasn't there, Linda, that ended up being very, very close. It was an international recruitment competition. Do you want to tell us what happened with that and what the company did about it?
From my recollection, it was between yourself and a lady in one of the French islands. I think they went to a point of that. Are you talking about the level of analysis that they did to?
Well, I'm talking about what Andy did in terms of, okay, there was a prize, a single prize, a person internationally was going to win this competition and get that prize. There was no second place.
No, but they did, and that analysis they went through and just went like, these guys are absolutely neck and neck, so they gave you both the prize. Yeah.
So the company sets out an international competition. They're going to give one distributor this major prize, which is the all expenses paid trip to Hawaii. And one person's going to win this. There's no second prize. There's no thank you for showing up. There's no participation certificate, shall we say. And myself and this wonderful woman from, I think it was French Guiana, were so close at the end of this competition as the top two recruiters on the planet that Andy, one of the business owners, just said, you know what? We're just going to duplicate this prize. You're both having it.
Yeah, and you both really deserved it. She'd been out doing talks with people just about every night that she could squeeze in the week, and you'd certainly been on the phone around the world and really connecting with people. And that's one of the great things that the owners of the company can do. They can have that control and let those rewards flow forward.
Absolutely. Right. So from that, I guess the only question that really remains for us to deal with today is, what do you do next? Several options. One, you ignore everything you've heard today. You can do that if you want to. I don't suggest that you do, frankly. If people have decided they're not going to completely ignore everything they've heard today in this video for some reason, Linda, what do they do next?
I think they should at least try and take the product.
At the very least.
At the very least, yeah, because I know a lot of your followers are very interested in their bodies, in their metabolism, building, repair, renewal. I know you have quite a following of people who are recovering because they've taken the absolute opposite information that's just far too in our culture and media at the moment, that has a very detrimental effect on people. So for those people who have done the opposite of carnivore and really lost body mass, need to rebuild, repair, and some of those people might not have the brain function yet to contemplate a distributorship. Well, like, get on the product, get on enough product. Bart will support you with that, and see where your brain is at in 6 to 8 months, because it's certainly what I use to recover people.
Right. And what if they're a go-getter, they're excited, they understand the possibilities here of unlimited passive income, and they want to get started on that right now? What do they do?
Right now, they click on your link and they go to join us, and they pick up, there's a few packs that you can choose from and populate with the products of your choice. Go through. By the time they've paid for that process, they would have told the system what they want their website to be called, and they can get started with the things that we've talked about today. And I would suggest probably flick you an email and say, hey, this is me, this is where I'm from, this is what really grabbed me about the video content. Yeah, I find it always really helpful to know, a bit about people, what inspires them, what they connected to about what I've spoken about, and what they feel like they would like to create and be a part of, and and go from there.
Absolutely brilliant. Yes, please do send me an email as soon as you register as an independent business owner, so we can get together on Skype and have a chat for half hour, 45 minutes or so that I can set you rolling at a pace and give you some basic ideas about really how to communicate about what this product and what this opportunity is to people, as I said before, in such a way that absolutely demands that person will ask you for more information. And as soon as they do that, I'm afraid you have them on the hook. They're yours from that point on. So all you need to do is learn those skills, learn what to say, what not to say, and how to deliver that to a person. And then it doesn't matter if you're talking to a person that you know at a family get-together, or at a meeting of some kind, or a colleague, or someone that you sat next to on a bus who you just happen to be talking to, or whether it's, you might want to build your business a different way. For example, I've built my business using almost entirely my social media influencer status as a person who creates videos for YouTube, for example. And the vast majority of my Cerule business comes from connecting with people that way. Guess what? You can do that too. And if you want to talk about how do I do that, I've got some expertise in that area too. So again, you would book in with me for a discussion. The great thing at the end of the day, of course, is that we have possibly one of the most experienced individuals in building this business anywhere on the planet, in Linda Hoggard, available to us, so long as we earn that respect from her and do the things that we need to do. We're not going to waste her time, are we? Obviously. And that is a fantastic opportunity. So, Linda Hoggard, I thank you very, very much for your time, your valuable time today. It really does mean a great deal to me that you have come and shared your knowledge, your wealth of knowledge and your experience with us today. You are the guest of honour, so you get to close us off.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I just wish you all the best on your journey, mobilising these amazing resources in your body. And everybody, it is their own journey to look back on and go, wow, this is where I've come over the last year, 2 years, 3 years, etc. Because you can really build that with consistency, and then to also see what you can build from a business, what you can change financially for yourself, for your family if you have one, and be part of this amazing journey that Bart and I are on.
Awesome. Linda, thank you so much. Join me next time on the channel where we'll be back to the usual sort of programming, I would think. In the meantime, take all of this to heart. Watch it 100 times if you have to until you get it. See you next time. Ciao for now.